Good morning, everyone. We are Group 23. It's me, Alfin, and Yan. Today, we are going to present about GenomIQ, an agentic AI system that takes raw genetic data and turns it into something people can actually understand. In this second round, we will move quickly from the problem to the proof. I will cover the problem, the market, and the business model, and Yan will show you how it works. So let's us begin with the feedback. In round 1, we presented the idea. We got 17 feedbacks, and we grouped those feedback into 4 big concerns that came up again and again. 8 groups said we are not truly agentic, so we will build the core around the React group. The agent reasons, calls a tool, observes the results, and decide its next step. 10 groups says we had no privacy strategy, so now raw genetic data is processed per session, never stored, never used for training, and anonymized before any LLM call. 8 groups gave us warning about hallucination, so now every answer must be grounded in ClinVar, gnomAD, and PubMed. If there's no evidence, the system says no and declines to answer. And 6 groups said our market was too broad, so we narrowed down to one segment, which is exactly what I will show you next. There are more than 44 million people who hold DNA test results from services like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA. But think about how that actually works. You buy a kit online, you get a report, and then you are completely on your own. No doctor, no counselor, just Google or generic AI chat box. The numbers tell the story. There are 70% of users never discuss their results with any healthcare professional. 83% genetics experts have seen results misinterpreted, and the only real alternative, a genetic counseling session, costs between $100 to $450 out of pocket. So that is the gap. Millions of people hold data they cannot interpret, and almost none of them can reach someone who could explain it. Now, let's talk about market validation. Is this gap a market? The answer is yes. The DTC genetic testing market is $4.1 billion a day, and it is projected to be growing to $13 billion by 2034. Our serviceable market is those 44 million existing users. In 3 years, it is possible to reach 2 to 5 million health-motivated early adopters. But of course, we understand that market size alone does not prove that people will pay. So look at why they already pay today. Counseling costs up to $450 per session. 23andMe charges $69 a year, and GenomLink charges $14 per report. So the willingness to pay is proven. Our research basis for this round is secondary evidence. Only 27% of users actually discuss the results with a doctor, despite 63% intending to. Primary user interviews are our next step, but this secondary evidence already points clearly that the need is real. For the competitive landscape, there are 4 types of players exist in this space. Firstly, testing platforms like 23andMe. They have the data but stop at static report. Secondly, raw data interpreters like GenomLink go further, but they use technical language with no conversation. Thirdly, clinical AI tools like Fabric and Tempus are accurate but locked behind hospital systems. And lastly, general AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude are accessible actually, but they're not grounded in genetic database, so they can hallucinate. So here's the gap. No platform today combines all 3 things: grounded evidence, real conversation, and persistent memory. That combination is exactly where our platform sits. Now let's talk about business model. The question all investors always ask is, why would anyone pay monthly for this? We asked the same question. We studied why 23andMe failed. Their mistake was treating interpretation as one-time event, so there's no reason for a user to come back. Our models had 3 tiers: a free plan for a starter report, a $5 one-time report for people with single need, and GenomIQ Plus at $9 a month for users who want ongoing relationship with their data. Beyond consumers, we have 2 more streams: a B2B API for DNA testing companies and institutional licensing for health education programs. So that is the problem, the market, and the business. So now, let us show you how it works. We'll take you inside the GenomIQ, the architecture, the processing pipeline, and a live demo of the system in action. Next slide will be presented by Yan.
Hello everyone, my name is Hmue. Now let me show you how I actually built it. This answers our biggest round 1 critic. A crew said we weren't truly agentic, just a linear pipeline. So we rebuilt the core around a real React planner. GenomIQ runs as a 5 corporation layers. At the top, Streamlit interface for upload and chat. Below it, a FastAPI layer for routing and auth. The heart is layer 3, the agent orchestration layer, where the real planner lives. Here is the loop. The agent has a thought, takes the action by calling a tool, then reads the observation. And currently, it decides its own next step based on what it just saw. It doesn't follow a fixed sequence. It loses another answer is grounded in evidence, not until some counter runs out. Under that, a retrieval layer doing the IAG over variant parsers, a ClinVar, gnomAD, and PubMed. And at the base, working episodic MongoDB plus a beta index for memory and the order lock. The key idea across flows down through these layers, but grounded evidence flows back up. Now they reach the user that isn't backed by a real source. That replaces our bulk continuous learning claim with semi-accurate. Picking up from the architecture, here is how one question travels the system end-to-end. A user uploads their SMV files, is validated and passed into type-variant objects. The agent then calls ClinVar, gnomAD, and PubMed for evidence. A rule-based risk engine scores each variant file tier, and then the LLM synthesizes a grounded cited answer in plain language and will respond with a risk summary and follow-up questions. Evidence is cached, so follow-ups are fast. Of the 6-on-6 principle that map directly onto the rest of the peer feedback. Privacy first. Data processed per session never retain anonymized before any LLM call aligned with the answer's Privacy Act, GDPR, and HMPAA. The answer the 10 rules on data protection. Evidence grounded, no source, no answer. The system returns confidence, sufficient rather than speculate. That is the 8 rules on hallucination. Transparent rigs of cyber audit trial and calibrate confidence with population context. Together, they answer the 6 rules on uncertainty that unboarded on they are how the system behaves by default. These are the steps of our system. Rather than describe it, let me show you live. Well, let me show you live. Study a fresh sessions. I'm going to upload the summary report. So I need to open the new session from here. So it's anonymous because of the privacy. Then I need to browse files to choose the files or the sample editor. And I upload it. The parsers pull out the variants. So I'm going to open the chat, and then I'm going to ask what is my import type. Notice the citation underneath. Each claim links back to the ClinVar or gnomAD. That's the hallucination gut. Watch the agent's real loop. It called ClinVar and gnomAD and PubMed. Read each process before deciding the next step. And it turns ground as our citation. Got the answer. Now the memory test. Should I worry about that? No re-upload, no repeating myself. So the agent reused the earlier context and answers in light of what we just established, and the episode's memory is working. So we need to rerun the APIs again. In variance, all 3 from the sample were called by entire. The depth is about our products and how we run and how we generate this in the dashboard, and the reflect the session, the real time 3 variants, more rate, and then more risk detected, and both questions lock in recent activity. Those explain our 3 because one variance did not have enough evidence to ground an answer, so the system held back rather than guess. So that is confident insufficient is practice. None of this is embedded. The loop is read from your own colleagues. The loop and the grounded principle comes from the Anthropist Agent Guideline. Our retrieve then critic approach is set-RG, recommended by one peer group. The reflection path is reflexing, and the problem is if documented. Tandy Conrad and colleagues measure the real misinterpretation rate we are big to reduce. Our contribution is combining these for the genetics domain. Quickly where we stand, shipped the full stack is ready, Docker, FastAPI with MongoDB and Streamlit urine, SME upload and sessions, the 23andMe parser, and the Agentic score is set, the full react planner, ClinVar, gnomAD, PubMed, retrieval, and the Rigs engine with high, moderate, low times, grounded Asai with citation, episodic memory, the confidence insufficient fallback, and full audit logging. Everything you just saw in the demo. In the progress, primary user interviews ahead of the final report, expanded variant coverage, edge case training, and the evaluation suite. For the future work, eccentric DNA and reset parser adapter, population-specific risk, data preparation, summary export, expert in the loop, counselor review, and the B2B API. That is GenomIQ, a grounded privacy-aware, genuinely agentic system that turns raw DNA data into something a person can accurately understand. Thanks for your time.